Hello, my name is Shelly. Welcome to my video today and welcome to my channel. I want to just take a moment before I dig in to thank all of you for being patient this past week while I've been knee deep in processing where and what and why of everything, okay? So we just finished the full moon in Scorpio via True Sidereal Astrology. Now, mainstream Western astrology was focusing on the full moon in Sagittarius. Sagittarius and Scorpio are very, very different energies. And I went in, I went into the scorpionic wormhole. I worked with the energy. It was intense, it was profound. And I'm here today recording because I feel like there's a calling to share from the perspective that I'm experiencing. One thing about the scorpionic, is scorpionic even the right thing? Scorpio energy, let's just say that, is there's often a feeling to want to go inwards, to want to recluse, to want to hermit, especially for me. I have a first house stellium in Virgo, and the hermit energy is something that it's part of who I am. But the calling is not to hermit and to share with you in order to possibly support you in understanding yourself and your own process a little bit deeper, because it can be really confusing. The energy, whether we're focused, and this is the thing about Western tropical astrology and what's actually happening in the sky with the planetary placements, is we can believe and put our focus into one area and aspect and experience it. But underneath it, the real energy that's being projected at us is also occurring. So this can create a real mix-up and confusion for people because they're focusing and they're working and they're watching videos trying to understand this Sagittarius energy and work with it. But underneath what's happening in the tapestry that's being laid is this deep, kind of darker, introspective energy. So it can cause a lot of confusion. And if that's happening for you, maybe this is what you need to hear to help you understand what could be going on. That Scorpio energy could be, and this is why I'm sharing it, bringing up for you aspects of self that you maybe don't like or don't want to have or don't understand or want to put towards other people or other situations. There could be a lot of remembering of how people have slighted you, hurt you, how they owe you. All that projection is what happens when we deny going in and doing the deep, hard work. And deep, hard work isn't this big, massive thing that we need to fear or get scared of, but it's real, it's true, it's honest, and it requires self-accountability. It requires us to be like, oh, wow, I am doing that. Or, I want to look outwards when really I'm the one who is projecting, or I'm the one maybe that's even being hurtful towards others, or even self-sabotaging. That's an energy that I want to talk about today. I was going to record later after my husband left, but he's out and I'm just recording now. He may come in at any time, which is fine. But this deeper desire to focus on things external to us, and we see this even in the media, right? We look on our news or watch the news or our feeds, and we see all of these disturbing things that are happening all over the world, which they are happening. This is very real. I'm not saying bypass it, but what the human brain likes to do is it will see conflict, it'll see distortion, it'll see something that, inherently we know is wrong on so many levels, and immediately want to look in its own environment. We want to look in our own environment to detect what's wrong, who's coming to attack me, who's going to hurt me, who did this in the past or whatever. It's just a natural cause and effect for where our attention goes and what we're focusing on. So we need to be really mindful in this time if we want to utilize this opportunity. And I do believe humanity is in an opportunity right now to identify what's really happening for me inside my world, and where am I holding myself back from creating, being, connecting, growing. Where am I doing this for myself? Because in the end, for most of us, not all of us, we're the ones holding ourselves back. We're the ones with the excuses. We're the ones with the, I don't feel like it. I can be a person like that big time, where I can take something I love and twist it and be like, no, I just don't feel like doing it. But really, when I go deeper into that, there's a level of resistance, because perhaps when I start to look at something that I love and decide I don't like it or I don't want to do it anymore, perhaps I'm being called to go to the next level of something. And instead of doing that, I'm just deciding I don't like it, right? So I'm inviting you, whoever's watching this video, and I don't know who's going to watch this video, but I'm inviting you to look at where you're stopping yourself from growing. What kind of language are you using? Or even, the feelings, right? Because we can get these feelings of doom and gloom and sadness and feel those feelings and just stop, right? We can stop or just stay stagnant. So for yourself, asking yourself, like, what am I being called to? Where do I want to go? Where do I want to serve? Where do I want to be? And I think those are some really difficult questions, because a lot of us have no idea. And in my opinion, we're in this phase of humanity right now where we're realizing just how many illusions, delusions, fog, patterns that we have, and we're having to really readjust and possibly even take a new path that we never even considered before. This is an opportunity time. I feel it through my bones, through my blood. This is what this channel is about. This is a time for us to cut the BS, to look at the stuff in our life that we've co-created, created. Maybe, a lot of you who watch my channel, and myself included, we've been in this spiritual bypass, new age kind of world, and it's really done not much for us, but created entanglement, right? So how do we take the parts of us and the parts of our learning and direct it into something tangible? And this keeps coming up over and over and over again. I've shared it before in videos, but how do you get back into your community, right? Because for many of us, we've isolated, or we've gone inwards, or we've, found online communities, which is great. But how do we get ourselves into the real world, tangible space around us? And this is something that I'm really going to stress for those of you who are watching this and really feeling what I'm saying here. If you are disconnected from your community and you're disconnected from the world, you're hermiting, like I can really easily do, what is something that you can do to get yourself in the community? What is a course you could take, a class you could take, a volunteering opportunity, anything? Because what we need to remember, with all the noise that's happening around us and all the options, because we have endless options, right? We can stay at home all day and watch YouTube. Great. And be entertained. Our dopamine can be, stimulated. But if we're not in the world, touching, feeling, communicating, looking people in the eye, working collectively towards something, then we are just creating more of a fog in our world. So there's this concept that I love to teach, that it doesn't matter what we do. When we come to this place and we realize, oh my goodness, like I do need to get out there, but I'm scared. I don't really like people. I'm different. People are surface level. All these things start coming up. But it's like, what if I just forgot all that and I just let myself be in some sort of environment, right? And it can be like such a simple thing. You can randomly pick a course and you can randomly decide something that even may have no interest for you, but something that you're deciding to do. And it's kind of like, if you think of in tarot language, the emperor energy, right? The emperor energy isn't really going to get emotional about what it's going to do or choose. It's just going to do what it needs to do. It's going to take charge. It's going to do because it understands it's the creator. It's what it does, what it puts out, what it delegates, what it interacts with is creating something and holding something. So I feel like there's an aspect of emotion that we need to be less entangled with personally, okay? And if this doesn't resonate with you, don't take it. But if it is, and what I mean by that is so many of us, myself included, right, can get lost in that this doesn't feel right. My intuition is telling me no. Our intuition, and I say this over and over, is our ego's greatest tool. And I'm not talking our real intuition, but our ego learns the language that our brain and our body accepts as intuition, and will start using that language and keeping us stuck, keeping us feeling safe. So there comes this point, I believe, in almost every spiritual person who, and when I say spiritual person, somebody who takes on the path of learning more, feeling more, growing, where we have to understand that we've created or allowed our mind and our ego to trick us with what we call intuition. Real intuition, and some of you may be watching this, and I've had to learn this myself, is so quiet, is so subtle, is so deep, and it doesn't speak to us all the time. It doesn't tell us every little thing that we need to do, or so when we are someone who's like, oh, my intuition this, my intuition that, my intuition blah 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 blah, that's not what intuition is. And intuition is a gentle pull. It's quiet. It can be loud when it's screaming at us that something is wrong, but other than that, it's quiet. It's a magnetic. It's a pull. It's subtle. So when we're constantly using this language and living in this way, it really helps if we are willing to entertain that perhaps we've given our ego authority over what we think may be our intuition when it's not, okay? This is really powerful, and I share this because it changed my life. I've been in the spiritual community. I've been a Muslim for 5 years. I was Muslim and I prayed 5 times a day. I've always been connected to something higher. But there was this click point where I realized, because I was stuck, like many of you are stuck, like, why am I not progressing? Why are things not happening? Why is this mess so entangled and yucky and weird? What's happening? And I realized, I'm like, whoa, this isn't what I thought it was. And am I willing, to create something new, to let go and to start from scratch and rebuild my perception, my identity, my goals, and to stop looking at the world, like I'm disconnected from it, like I'm above it, like I'm special. And this was what happens. People will be like, I'm of this bloodline or this race or this blah, blah, blah. And we get lost in that lingo where we've disconnected from what's really going on here. It's kind of sad and devastating if it can be devastating if we're willing to actually look at that and say, you know what, all of this may be true. Again, I'm not saying that, the bloodlines and different races and galaxies aren't real. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is what's true for you that's most important, and what's true for me that's most important, is what's right here beneath our feet. What's right here outside of our door. What's right here at the end of our fingertips, right? It's more important than what's out here, than what these speculations are. And I've talked in other videos about, you know, energies and entities and all of those things. And they get doorways into people when they live out here and they're not in solidarity with their physical vibration, their physical essence, their physical reality, because none of that can come in and be here. You can be here, tap in, and come back here and claim your sovereignty by being in your own frequency. Does that make sense? It's like, I'm dead serious. This is something that may seem light and fluffy, but it's not. What's under your feet, what your feet are touching right now, is most important. What is inside of the walls that you live in, most important. The people that are close to you, most important. The work that you're doing, most important. All of this stuff out here, it's bypassing, it's distraction. And this is the Scorpio full moon really brought me here. And is like, Shelly, you have to talk about this. You can keep it light and fluffy for people, but that's not your message. That's not what you're here to do. We are in a massive time, and the potential to seed right now and to grow something really potent to support our world is right now. And it's hard because whatever you're creating, for many of us, many of you watching this, it may feel like you're starting from zero. And you are in some ways, because you're seeding something that you thought you could bypass. Maybe you thought, a lot of you, I don't care about kids. I don't care about family. I don't care about roots. You know, I've seen lots of people in the party community that they go to these festivals in the summertime and springtime and live like, I don't even know, during the other seasons. But they thought that that's what life is. That's not what life is. Life is your roots. It doesn't have to be through children. But like I said, it's through what is beneath your feet, what is around you, right? What are you creating? I hope this makes sense. I felt so called to record this message. I couldn't do anything else. I'm a doll maker. I make dolls. They're called soul dolls. And I have a course that I'm recording today, but I needed to get this video out. So thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe if you like this content. And you have a real opportunity. Use it. I will record again on Thursday. Bye-bye.